Hi, y'all. Jennifer Leday here with some more quick tips for women who want to live and lead by design rather than default. Well, I want to start today by quoting that great American poet and philosopher, Dolly Parton, who said, "Find out who you are and do it on purpose." Today, I'm sharing some thoughts on your personal leadership brand. You've probably thought about branding as it relates to your organization or its products and services, but have you given any thought to your personal leadership brand? Now, you may be thinking, Jen, I am not a business, so I don't need to have a brand. Fair enough. I can see how you might perceive it that way. But whether you realize it or not, you have a leadership brand. The question is whether you've created it on purpose and by design, or whether it has been created by default. In my experience, I've found that this is something that women tend to struggle with a little bit more than their male counterparts. I know I have for buku years. Now, I'm not a marketing expert. I don't play one on TV. So my definition of your leadership brand is probably going to be a bit different than those marketing experts. But I look at branding or your leadership brand as simply how people perceive you. It's the promise you make. A lot like the promise of a big brand like Coca-Cola or Harley-Davidson or Ritz-Carlton, right? Jeff Bezos, who brought us another iconic brand in Amazon, says that your brand is what people say when you're not in the room. The thing you need to remember, y'all, is that everything you do is either contributing to or taking away from your brand. Your personal brand is the message you send by the life you live. So what message are you sending? Are you being intentional? Are you being on purpose about it? By building your leadership brand intentionally and on purpose, you can tell your story in a way that's going to highlight your competencies, your skills, the value you bring to the organization in a way that allows you to stand out for all the right reasons. By doing this, it's kind of interesting because when I work with clients, I don't look at this as something that we're pulling out of thin air or that we're fabricating, okay? I am not talking about putting in what was left out of anybody. Rather, it's more about drawing out what might have been left in. So ironically, the first step in creating a brand that's going to influence how others perceive you is going within. It's identifying what makes you, you, and as Dolly says, doing more of that, okay? And I gotta tell you, this is something I totally struggled with for buku years, okay? Because being from South Louisiana, okay, I was conscious of the fact that some people, I don't agree, but some people say that I have a bit of an accent, okay? Well, let's be honest. The media doesn't exactly paint a pretty picture of Cajun people from South Louisiana. So what I did was I wore a mask, figuratively, and I masked that part of myself, okay? So I was trying to mask my accent. I became a generic speaker and leadership coach. Boring, yawn, right? So I was doing what I thought I should do, okay? Moral of the story, y'all, don't should on yourself, okay? Don't should on yourself. You were created the unique person that you were for a reason. And so you need to embrace who you are and just intentionally create a brand that will highlight the best parts of you. So when you create your brand on purpose, you're going to want to identify your unique qualities and highlight and accentuate those. You're going to want to decide how you want to be perceived by other people. Again, this is about maintaining your authenticity, not being something you're not being something you think you should be, okay? But just being intentional about how you show up so that you can influence their perception of you. Then you want to become obsessed with assessment. I believe that this is the most important tool you can use to continuously improve. After every interaction, after every meeting, after every program performance, whatever it might be, you want to self-assess. How did I show up in this situation? How did I either contribute to or take away from the leadership brand that I am working on? Y'all, it is totally your choice. What I've come to learn the hard way is that you can either create your brand on purpose and intentionally, or others will create it for you. Now, you can live a life that you design and you intentionally create, or you can live one that shows up and as if it's by default, as if things are happening to you. Personally, I want to use my God-given gifts and talents to have a positive impact on the world. I want to use my gifts and talents in my work and in all of my interactions. And you can do that too. And if you'd like some help, let's talk. Go to jenniferleday.com, schedule a discovery call with me. We'll talk and we'll discuss whether it's my Women's Leadership Collective, whether it's a team program, a team retreat, or an intensive coaching program, or one-on-one private coaching. We'll figure out what's the best program for you to meet your needs. Go to jenniferleday.com to schedule that call. Now, I'll be posting resources like this on LinkedIn as Jennifer H. Leday, and on YouTube as Jennifer Leday Speaker. So be sure to connect and subscribe so we can stay in touch and you can get these messages. And until next time, y'all, stay smart, stay savvy, and always just a little bit sassy. Thanks, y'all. See you next time.